Erectile dysfunction is considered an important cause of decreased quality of life in men. In fact, so much so that one early theory suggested that this may explain the link between impotence and heart attacks. Depression is a risk factor for coronary heart disease, and the thought was that men who couldn't get it up became so depressed that they die of a broken heart. But now we know that erectile dysfunction and heart disease can be two different manifestations of the exact same root problem: diseased arteries. Inflamed, oxidized, cholesterol-clogged blood vessels. So no wonder a diet chock full of anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, cholesterol-lowering plant foods would improve sexual functioning in both men and women, as well as reduce risk of heart disease. But why go low risk when you can shoot for no risk? A totally plant-based diet can even stop and reverse our number one killer. Of all the plant foods individually examined so far, nuts are among those most tied to longevity. Just 2 handfuls of nuts a week may extend a woman's life as much as jogging 4 hours a week. So if nuts reduce the risk of heart disease, might they also help with sexual function? Well, men eating 3 to 4 handfuls of pistachios a day for just 3 weeks experienced a significant improvement in blood flow through the penis, accompanied by significantly firmer erections. May not be surprising. Remember how antioxidant-rich foods have a Viagra-like effect of boosting nitric oxide production? Well, pistachios are certainly rich sources of antioxidants. And remember how the citrulline in watermelons helped with erection firmness by boosting arginine, which is what our body makes nitric oxide out of? Well, pistachios have a bunch of arginine, which may help explain the improvement in blood flow. And we know that cholesterol is an important predictor of sexual dysfunction in both men and women, and after just 3 weeks on all those pistachios, there were significant improvements in cholesterol. And like other studies that piled on hundreds of calories of nuts a day, there was no weight gain. Conclusion: just 3 weeks of pistachios resulted in a significant improvement in erectile function, with additional improvement in cholesterol without any side effects. Note the 2 important differences between diet and drugs. Just taking drugs like Viagra to poison this enzyme and artificially boost nitric oxide signaling is just covering up the symptoms of the underlying problem, unhealthy arteries, whereas eating whole healthy plant foods like nuts actually helps attack the root cause, cholesterol oxidation and inflammation, and only has good side effects. This enzyme that Viagra-like drugs muck with is primarily found in 2 places in the body: the erectile tissue of the penis and the retina of the eye. That's why the FDA encourages people to stop taking drugs like Viagra and call a doctor right away if you experience sudden loss of vision. Of course, you can still find your phone, though the harms tend to be self-limited and reversible, such as cyanopsia, in which your vision suddenly becomes tinted blue. Why risk side effects at all when the problem can be reversed, cured in the first place, improving the quality and quantity of our lives? Improvement of sexual function in men and women should be added to the growing list of clinical benefits brought about by healthy lifestyles in human beings.
Hey guys, I just wanted to do a quick video for you on borage, which is also known as starflower, Borago officinalis. Borage is an awesome companion plant within the garden. As you can see here, it is just drawing in all kinds of life. If I keep the camera still here for just a second, you could just see, I could probably count 15 or 20 different bees flying around on here right now. As well as some wasps and things of that sort, but it draws in all kinds of life. Borage is an annual herb, edible. The leaves themselves, some of these smaller leaves, like these little guys here, make great additions to salad. Some of the bigger ones, which you get down in here, you kind of get into more of what is used for greens, like a collard green or anything like that. As they become a little bit older, They get bitter. The taste and smell is very similar to cucumber, which is the leaves themselves are actually also high in gamma-linolenic acid, which is GLA. It's an omega-6 fatty acid, which is good for joint health, boosts immunity, and promotes healthy skin, things of that sort. It's also high in lots of vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin A, iron, zinc, magnesium, things of that sort. The flowers themselves, as I said before, these are, it's actually called the star flower. It's one of the things it's known as. It's because of the 5 points on the flower, as you can see there. Get a little point coming out. Grab another one here. There's a little bee on this one. But the flowers themselves are edible. Also have kind of a cucumbery taste. The flowers themselves, actually, one of the things I find kind of interesting is they're one of the very few edible blue substances, naturally occurring blue substances on Earth. I mean, of course, you'll think of things like blueberries. There's like the blue potato and blue nasturtium. It's in a very short list of plants. And borage is also an excellent companion plant for plants like tomatoes, spinach, brassicas like broccoli, cauliflower, and even various legumes and beans and things of that sort, your nitrogen-fixing plants. One of the biggest benefits for borage, besides obviously being edible, is that it attracts pollinators. This thing, as you can see, is just booming with life. Bees and butterflies have flown in here a couple times since I've started this video, constantly bringing in all kinds of pollinators to the garden, of which they then spread into the other plants and things of that sort around the garden, which is nice. Borage it's quite a sprawling plant. I mean, as you can see, let me get down in here, I'll show you this trunk on this thing, which is just humongous. Get the size comparison to my hand. Let me see if I can get in there. I mean, here's the trunk on this thing. As you can see, comparison to my hand, that thing is huge. So borage itself can be quite the space hog in a garden, but it's also very, very beneficial. Being a space hog, it's one of those things you can cut it back. Right now I have it growing because I have a lot of my still winter based brassica plants and stuff like that that are growing. You see broccoli over here, some broccoli underneath of it. But I plan on cutting this back quite dramatically so I can get some of my new plants coming in here pretty soon. The great thing about that is you can eat it. Some people think it's a disadvantage to have such a sprawling plant in your garden because it takes up so much room, but I find it to be quite opposite because of it being edible and beneficial. The cuttings that you cut off of it, even in themselves, can be used as a green mulch. Instead of going and buying mulch at the store, you just take the cuttings off and drop them right down into your bed there. It's adding nutrients back into the soil, and you're also preventing direct sunlight from hitting the soil, which is drying out the soil, and wind and things of that nature coming in and blowing away and dehydrating your soil. Being that it is an attractor of good beneficial insects and a detractor of bad insects, becomes quite the beneficial little plant to have in your garden, and of course also being edible. I find borage to be quite a beneficial little plant to have in the garden. I hope you do too.
Dianol. Dianol, also known as DMAE, is the only ingredient clinically proven to not only smooth out wrinkles and fine lines, but also firm the skin. Several studies have concluded that DMAE tightens and firms sagging skin by toning the muscle beneath, resulting in a glowing, youthful appearance.
The effects of a commercially available botanical supplement on strength, body composition, power output, and hormonal profiles in resistance-trained males. Something had a significant impact on both upper and lower body strength and body composition in comparison to placebo in a double-blind controlled trial. These changes were obtained with no clinical side effects, allowed these men to leg press an extra 100 pounds compared to placebo, and the magical substance was fenugreek, a naturally occurring edible spice that appears to double as an anti-cancer agent. Here's prostate cancer cells in a petri dish. Here's prostate cancer with a little fenugreek. Here's another type of cancer before and after. What about normal prostate cells, though? Before fenugreek and after. That's what we like to see. In summary, fenugreek seeds may possess potent anti-cancer properties. So what's the downside? Find out in tomorrow's video of the day.